VR stands for virtual reality, meaning that it's a fully immersive experience in a computer-generated environment. AR stands for augmented reality and means that the user's environment is overlaid and changed with a computer-generated interface. Some current VR technologies that are very common and that we see are things like Google Cardboard that function just by holding your smartphone really close to your face and generating multiple images, and things like the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift that are closer to a true VR experience, but not fully. You still have to do some physical inputs. In the future, we expect to see more use of advanced AI in user interactions, like better natural language processing and a reduction of reliance on symbols and menus. We also expect to eventually, at some point, see the complete removal of physical inputs and have total virtual reality immersion. Current AR trends and products are also pretty much limited to wearables and things that you do with your smartphone or iPad or similar device. These are things that do overlay your environment, but they're very heavily dependent on user input, and they're often a little large and clunky in the case of the wearables. But that can include things like Google Home as well. In the future of AR, we expect to see better computer-to-user interactions through more advanced AI. We expect to see it in more products like cars. It's already started to include in your home environment with things like Google Home and Amazon Echo. The military is already using it for training purposes, and we expect that it will continue to expand into the education field much more than it already. Some design considerations for VR and AR are how intrusive the item will be, the ease of use of the UI, designing for new environments like 360-degree environments, as well as total sensory inclusion in the user interface. And that provides some new challenges for designers who haven't had to consider those things as factors before. An environment that's constantly changing needs a UI that's going to constantly change with it. Ethical considerations for VR are complex, but they include some of the same things we've seen before with social isolation, user privacy, data security, but there's also more complex things like psychiatric considerations, like a loss of being able to conceptualize what's real and what's not, the potential for use in torture, and simply how cost prohibitive the technology might be. Ethical considerations for AR are very similar to those of VR, but there's a greater concern for the intrusiveness of advertising, the dangers of dulling a user's awareness with your user interface, harassment concerns, so overlapping user functionalities, as well as user privacy and cost prohibitiveness. If this becomes a teaching tool, it should be available to everyone. I based my claims in this video on several different sources listed below. I hope it was informative. Thank you.